let's talk about it. Come on and shout it. I talk, you talk, we talk. Women talk life, it ain't no surprise. Baby, you could see if you would open up your eyes. You won't understand if you can't open up your mind. So let's stop wasting time when women talk live.
And welcome to another episode of Women's Talk Live. I'm your girl, April J.
I'm SassyScribe.
And this is Elle, Boogie.
And on today's show, we're talking about her credit, her coins. And the reason why we're saying her is because I think us as women have gone through a long journey when it comes to credit and our money. So,
Indeed.
Yeah, it took us a long time to take control of our own stuff.
Legally, we weren't even able to.
Yeah, that part. But before we get into that, we want to get into our little known history facts. And the first one has to deal with letter carriers. And I thought this was interesting because my dad used to be a letter carrier for the U.S. Postal Service. So long before mail carriers walked neighborhood routes, the first American post office operated out of a busy Boston tavern in 1639. And much of the actual delivery work was done by enslaved and Native American carriers who knew the land better than anyone. By the late 1700s, the young United States had built a growing network of post office and post roads. But most people still had to travel into town to pick up their letters. An early exception came from Benjamin Franklin, who, as a colonial postmaster, launched a penny post service in Philadelphia that would deliver unclaimed mail to a person's home for a small fee. An early preview of modern home delivery that most Americans wouldn't see widely adopted until after the Civil War. It's like, okay. So Native Americans and enslaved people were our first postal service folks.
Native Americans.
Yeah.
The ones that senator want to deport.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Native Americans too. Where are you deporting them? These people are. Look, I went to the store this morning. Wait a minute. In my.
I love that shirt.
If you could have seen, and you know where I live, it's not a lot of us.
Yes.
And I walked into one coffee shop, just as proud, deliberately kept my coat open. Looking around. And then I went to another place and got my breakfast just as nice. And I was the only one in there in both stores. I didn't care. The little black girls behind the counter was like, I said, yep.
All right. So here are some little known, well, not little known, but here are some myths about presidents in American history.
Oh, God.
So American history is full of presidential myths. We're living through one right now. But some of the strangest histories aren't true at all. First one is George Washington never wore wooden teeth. His dentures were made of ivory, metal, and even human and animal teeth that stained over time, giving them a wood-like look.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. The second one is William Howard Taft. Probably never got stuck in a bathtub, though his 300-plus pound frame did require custom tubs so huge that 4 men could sit in one, perfectly fueling for a political tall tale.
And a listing in the Epstein files.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
maybe not, since they were all men together.
Well, yeah.
Oh
That
yeah,
part.
okay. Russian
You know,
bathhouse.
that's a bathhouse, right?
Right.
Right.
Exactly. All right. So, Abraham Lincoln didn't dash off the Gettysburg Address on the back of an envelope either. He drafted and redrafted the speech over months, and 5 handwritten copies survive today.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and another myth is William Henry Harrison likely didn't die from catching a chill during his marathon inaugural speech. In modern day history, he instead caught a fever, probably caused by contaminated water near the Wastefield marshes by the White House. Unlike the new ballroom that's supposed to be coming up. That's the new marsh. All right. Last known fact is about nostalgia. Centuries before we got misty eyed over cartoons and favorite snacks, nostalgia was once considered a dangerous medical condition that could supposedly kill you. Coined in 1688 by a Swiss physician, Johannes Hoffert, from the Greek words for homecoming and pain. Nostalgia describes severe homesickness in people sent far from home, especially soldiers, who were said to have suffered from depression, insomnia, heart palpitations, and even death. Doctors tried everything from leeches and purging out outward terror, and Swiss commanders even banned traditional cow herding songs thought to trigger sudden nostalgia collapse. By the 19th century, nostalgia quietly shifted from a fatal diagnosis into a psychological concept, and today it is seen as mostly helpful, a bittersweet emotion that can boost mood and strengthen social bonds instead of sending you into an early grave.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wow.
that part. So those are our little known history facts for today. All right. So we're gonna get into our topic of the day called Her Credit, Her Coins. And the reason why I actually wanted to kind of delve into this is because I am in the process of buying my home on a brand new home on my own, basically. So, and it has been a journey. Trust me, it has been a journey. But through the process, even though I've been in real estate for 25 plus years, there were a lot of things that I personally even learned. So I thought, hey, why not even just do a whole show about it? But if your first up, if your credit score starts with a 5, it gives you anxiety every time you apply for something, this episode is for you. I mean, because we have that today, especially today with the economy being the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So messy credit usually comes from life happenings such as job loss, medical bills, divorce. Not because because you're bad with money or just broke. It's just a system that is confusing. I know when I got divorced, I had to file bankruptcy, which I had to rebuild my credit all over again. And I didn't realize that even with clearing credit, like, because I want to clear all the negative stuff off of my credit, not realizing that's brought my credit down because
Mm-hmm.
I was wiping out credit history.
Right. Right.
So, and when buying a home or making a major purchase, a lot of times lenders want to see that you have at least 2 to 3 plus years of history credit.
Yeah,
And
don't they say not to, like, if you, like, I paid off 2 credit cards. I didn't close them.
yeah,
It
don't
shows
close
them
them.
as paid off because I started to
Exactly.
close them, and someone said, "Don't close them, leave them there. You just
Exactly.
not using them anymore." And I
Right.
haven't.
Right. And that was the thing that was one of the things that I learned too. Do not close it. Because I had credit cards that I just paid off and I was like, I don't want to do this no more. Closed it out. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I was told. No, you don't want to do that. They said you can cut
Okay.
the card up.
Right.
But yeah, so that's the biggest thing. Payment history, whether you pay on time, every time is the single biggest factor. Even one 30-day late can hurt a lot more than people think. And this is why this is really important, because I think back in December, November, I had, now mind you, I paid my stuff on time, but this one time I just completely forgot about a payment. Completely forgot about it. And paid it on the 31st or 32nd day before I went on vacation. Because I was just like, oh shit, I forgot
Right.
to pay this.
Right.
Not thinking. And then I realized I was like, why is my credit? Why did it bring it down? Then when I realized I paid that 30-day late. So I was told sometimes it's good to do automatic pay. That
Right.
way you still, even if it's like 15, usually it's like $15, $25 or whatever, put that on, and then you ain't gotta worry about missing a payment. You can still make additional payments. But
Well, I do want to add that when you have, for a situation like yours, April, you can call your credit card company and they can do what's called a re-age, which means if you don't have a habit of being late, they can go ahead and take that back off of your account and
Yeah.
just put it, as not being late. So those are conversations that you need to have with your credit card company if you really want to prohibit that from happening.
right.
Errors on their part in terms of you not getting your bill, the address could be wrong. All of those things are reasons why you can contact your credit card company and they can adjust that information for you.
I've actually had that happen because this past month, last month, like you, April, I completely forgot about the bill. I completely just like, you pay everything, and I thought I paid it, and I didn't, and they called me, and I was like, shit. Like, so I
Yeah.
paid last month and this month. You know what I mean? So I was like, and they did that, Kim. They were like, we'll go ahead and we'll remove that late payment
Mm-hmm.
from your credit. So
Right.
because we see you do pay, on time or ahead of time. And
Yeah.
I've also learned, and this is what I had to learn that was bringing my score up, is that like you, April, not I didn't do automatic payments, but I paid before the bill came out.
Mm.
So I know my statement is printed on the 7th of each month, and the bill is due on the 2nd. So I
Yeah.
try to pay before all of that happens.
Yeah. And I think
And
that's what a lot of people don't understand, that
yeah,
reporting doesn't come on the 30th day for your credit. It comes on like that 27th, 28th day.
something.
So you want to make sure that you get those payments in. That's why, sometimes it is good to put on automatic pay.
Yeah.
Then also, when you're applying for new credit, of course, you get hard inquiries, and new accounts likely ding for a short period, but not a long period, but just a short period. And then it's also good to have a mix of credit, a combination of revolving credit cards, installment loans, auto, student, mortgages. They look like, like you have a lot of credit history, and you have a mixture of credit history. One thing that I did not know was that when you take out personal loans, they only account for like between 3 and 5% of, like, say if you get ready to get a mortgage. They only count that as 3 or 5% towards your credit.
What about the utilization?
Utilization. Now that's a huge thing, because people don't realize you have to keep your overall credit utilization at 30%. You go over that 30%, your credit immediately drops.
I know I keep doing that. I get it, and then I buy stuff. And
Now,
then
I
I
do
then I
want to
buy
add,
stuff. So
when you're talking about getting credit, it's also important, like April was talking about, the different types of diversified credit, your auto loan, your car, your house mortgage, whatever. When you're looking to do a big purchase like that, if you're trying to get work done on your house, know feasibly what you're looking at before you start doing the credit soft pulls,
Yeah.
because it doesn't impact your credit in the same way. If you're looking for a car loan, they know that car dealers are going to be pulling your credit. But if every 6 months you're looking for car loans or, doing this, it's not cohesive and streamlined in terms of what your credit history is going to look like. So just prepare yourself when you're looking for big ticket purchases and you're looking for credit to try to do them all within a certain time frame, so that from a credit score standpoint, it doesn't impact it in a negative way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what I did when my daughter bought her first car? Instead of going straight to the dealership, I told her, I said, okay, open up an account with your credit union.
Yep.
It was like a credit, I think it was like First Financial, whatever. And I had her apply for a loan through her credit union. Then once she got the approval, she was able to shop for a car. She knew how much she could afford. She knew what her payments were going to be. And then I think she bought her car from one of the big car backs or whatever. And so when she went, she picked out the car, saw the car. Okay, I went with her. The guy was like, okay, well, listen. I was like, no, listen. She already has her approval. I said, all I need
this much money.
Yeah, this is how much she this car is well within what she qualifies for. I just need the bill of sale. Then we can go to the bank, get the check, bring the check back, done. Eliminate sitting in the car because I hate sitting in the car.
You're in there all day.
Oh,
They're
I
trying
hate
to
that.
upsell you everything.
Exactly.
Everything.
So that's what I have been doing. I did that with my last car. I went to my credit union and went through all that before I even went to the dealership. That way it eliminates all that. I got to go through your credit, pull it credit, because like to Kim's point, they'll pull it from all over the place. They'll pull it from
right.
here.
18 different companies.
Yes. And I'm like, no, I'd rather do it myself.
Yeah. When I bought my first car, I went with the credit union at that time, and they gave me a United buying certificate. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It's a United buying certificate. They ask you the type of car you want, and then they will give you how much this car is. You get the loan for that amount, and you take it to the car company, the dealership, and the dealer has to honor that because they give you a list of dealers that they deal with, and they have to honor that price for that car, even if it's more. They have to honor that price.
Oh,
and
you got to send me that.
Yeah, that's how I got my first car. That's how I got my very first car. And my dad went with me, and because I was new to the whole thing, and he said, we're not going to be here all day. This is what she has. This is what she wants. She doesn't need an extended warranty. She doesn't need all of the other things that y'all are trying to give her. Whatever this comes with, that's the package we're going to take. If you want to throw anything in, throw in a full-size spare tire. He always told me that. They're going to give you something. You want a full-size spare, not a donut. And right. I got a full-size spare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
that makes sense.
You got to have people that
how
are willing
long
to
ago did you
negotiate.
buy your first car, Sassy?
Oh my God. That was 25, 30 years ago. I mean,
look,
but that was a long time ago.
It don't exist no.
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't.
No, I'm gonna look it up though.
Matter
of fact, we can do that real time while y'all continue. What's it called, Sassy?
Right.
Because I can use it.
United Buying Certificate or United Buying Service, something like that.
Okay.
Because I remember the company I was working for and everything. So I think it was like in the 90s. And then the guy I was going with at the time said he was changing the oil and he didn't. And I busted a tire rod and messed the whole engine up and had to get a new car.
Okay. So. Yeah. All right. So we're going to get that information for you.
It's still in effect. You can still get it.
All right. So
you can still get it? It still exists?
Okay. And what is it called?
It still exists. UBS.
UBS.
United Buying Service.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Cool. See?
UBSforcars.com.
UBSforcars.com.
And then it lists like the dealerships and all you got to do is plug in your information and apply for it. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I might do that for my next car now that I'm
hey, listen. Yeah, after because eventually I said I'll probably get another vehicle, but yeah, that's good to know. All right. Just to kind of reiterate, less known points. Your score is a snapshot, not a permanent label. It can change every month as new data hits. Credit card companies usually report balance on statement dates, not the due date. Paying down a credit card before the statement date cuts can show a lower balance and bump your score faster. That I
which
had
is what I
learned
was
too.
saying.
That's
Yes.
what I learned too. You can have a perfect on-time payment history and still have a mediocre score if your utilization is consistently higher.
That's
And that
me.
and
That's
I
me.
had that issue. I did. I like you, Sassy. I did have that issue. And
I'm,
it took
I'm
a
I'm
lot of
learning.
discipline. A lot of discipline. And you know what's crazy is that I like stay on my daughters. And my oldest daughter, like I said, she is like she don't play when it comes to her credit. And she makes sure her credit stays under 30%. Like she's on that all the time. And I was just like,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I preached that to her. I should, you know.
Right. And listen, I get it because when Biden was in office, I wasn't paying my student loans. I kept getting deferred. But when this sucker got in office, I was like, let me go up and set it up. And I set up my student loan because once he got in office and removed all of the safeguards, my score dropped 100 points because they
Wow.
reported it as a like 120 days or something like that
Mm.
late, and it dropped. I was like, oh my god, oh my
Yeah,
god.
I had called my company and the company I was with because I like you, I had them deferred. So they told me they was just like no. And I told them I was in the process of buying a house, but after I buy the house, I wanted to set up payments. So what they did is they deferred it for 2 years, but then they
Hmm.
put in those safeguards because I was like, I don't need this hitting my credit.
Exactly.
And so they, put in where it was like a freeze, but it still builds interest,
Hmm.
but I can still pay, on the interest. But yeah, the student loans, yeah, it's different regime, I would say. Um,
Yes.
all right, so a lot of people they are like, okay, how can I get my 520 to I don't know 700,
700.
um, which is crazy because my daughter, I mean, her credit score is 10 times better than mine. I mean, I mean, my credit score isn't bad; it's pretty good, but my daughter, hers is like almost hitting that 700. So, and she's 25. So it can be done. It can be
It can
done.
be
You don't
done.
have to wreck it like when I was 25 and wrecked
Yo,
mine.
my
Girl,
grandson called me. He's 20. He was like, Nana, my credit score is 710. I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah,
Kudos to my daughter. I
right.
swear.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
He's
yes.
20. He'll be 21 this year. He has his own car, his apartment. And he's like, yo, my credit score is 710. I was like, oh boy, you better work
that's
out.
awesome. That's
That
awesome.
is
Oh
that is
yeah.
Right.
awesome because at his age, I remember having credit cards at every
Oh my
Nordstrom,
gosh.
Macy's. I was buying shit, and then I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I gotta pay this back."
That's me.
Like,
That's
Especially
me.
when you in college and they just give you
Yes.
all them credit cards.
give you those
Yes.
Oh
credit
my
cards.
goodness.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Yes.
So,
And they prey on college students because they set up a little credit thing on campus,
Yep.
just
they
hand it,
do.
and
The
all you
little
got to do is
freebies,
sign it.
the little
Yeah. All
goofy
you got to do
freebies.
is
Yep.
just
Yeah.
sign it. Next thing you know, it's like we party and having a good time. And then the bill come at the end of the month. You was like
Yeah, right.
$800.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is.
All
It
right.
is.
So here, some little steps you can do. Step one, know your starting point. Pull your credit reports from all three bureaus, not just a score from an app. Please, y'all. You gonna pull anything, pull your FICO score. Your FICO score is divided into auto, credit cards, personal loans, and mortgages. Those three scores are different. You will see that they are different. And those
All
are the
three.
scores that they look at. So make sure you know those scores.
If you
Create
don't know the three though, it's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.
exactly. Create
And
a
you do get a free credit report every year.
Oh yes,
You
free
are like,
credit
don't
report.
pay for one. You get a free one per year. You can go to freecreditreport.com,
Freecreditreport.com. Yep.
or just look up free credit reports, but you are entitled legally to one free credit report a year. So every year, January 1st, you can look at it as a way to refresh, or do it at the end of the year so you can,
Right.
get ready for your new year. But whenever you do it once a year, it's free to you.
Yep. All right. So create a simple list. Errors and accounts you don't recognize. Now, here's the thing. Like, I've had some folks where their parents were using them for BG&E bills, for different things. So if it's not yours, you want to check it. You want to make
Yeah.
sure it's yours. If it ain't yours, get rid of it. Accounts and collection. Cards that are maxed or near maxed. Any late payments in the last 24 months. So create a simple list to go through and make sure, okay, I know what I need to clear up.
Right.
Things people may not know. The same account can show slightly different information with each bureau. Some free score apps give a different scoring model than lenders use. So focus more on trends like up and down than exact numbers.
Okay.
And if they're not exact, you can dispute if they're not
Yes.
exact. So yeah. Um, okay, so and then make sure that your current score range, your total debt, the one card that's pretty much may be the one that you're like, oh shit, it may have a higher credit
Limit.
limit, and you like, oh, okay, well that has, I could just trust me. I've been there where I be like, oh, you know what? I could just use the card. They only got that. I could, next paycheck, I could just go ahead and pay. And then next thing you know, you like, what the fuck? Like,
Right. That's me right now, but they're gonna get out of the way in the next month or two.
yeah,
One, I need room on it to charge my rooms for my trip. Right? So
right, yeah.
Look, with
Like
the years, once you
yeah,
pay it, you got access to it. Look at it that way. So you're
yeah,
really not out of anything. If you pay it, you still have access to the line of
right.
credit. So
Or
that's
go
just
ahead
true.
and pay.
just put it up. Once you pay it, don't take it with you. Put it up somewhere. Leave it home, or cut it up. If you're never going to use it again, cut it up. I mean, if you need it, you can always get another card. Or these days and times, you can put it on Apple Pay. But like I said, just be mindful. All right. Also set up auto pay for at least the minimum due. Every card to avoid accidental lates. And that's what I said I was gonna start doing. Put all due dates on the calendar if possible. Call card issuers to move dates so that all the dates don't
Overlap.
here, like there, or whatever, but they cluster around your payday.
The 15th and the 30th. The
There you
15th and the
go.
30th.
There you go. If you have good payment history and just slip once, like Kim said, you can call and request a goodwill adjustment on recent lates. Sometimes they'll remove it a one-time like late mark. So and then a 30-day late hurts a lot more than paying a few days late. If you're going to be late, try your best to pay before you hit the 30-day past due. Some lenders will give you a one-time courtesy, remove the late if you ask, especially if it's otherwise you're consistent with paying on
Right.
time. Attack utilization. Start bringing those balances down, especially on cards that are nearly maxed. Aim to get each card under 30% of its limit. Under 10% is ideal. Start with problem cards that max out or have small balances you realistically can knock down in a few months. Make small, frequent payments instead of waiting for the one big bill due date. This will keep the reported balance lower. And I tell people all the time, I tell my daughter all the time, pay more than the minimum.
Yeah.
Because you want to get down, like if it's even with her car payments, I tell her pay a little bit more because if you pay a little bit, like she'll pay like $100 more, like she'll pay like $50 one pay and $50 the next pay. I said, and that will start paying down that balance, and she actually is close to paying her car off.
Yeah.
And one thing that I also, before I get into the other stuff, one thing that a lender told me, he was just like, say your mortgage is $3,200 a month. He said instead of paying it on that due date, he said pay it biweekly. So divide it, one pay it, one half, the next pay the next half. That way you're not paying that big payment at one time. He said, and also it messes up as far as the interest. It kind of will start bringing that interest down, because the lenders, they calculate that interest at the end of the month. If you're paying it like that, it's kind of like, okay, it kind of it'll mess with it. But and then also, if you say pay an extra $100 a month to your mortgage, make sure if you do that, you tell them this is applied to principal only.
Yes.
And that will start bringing down your principal balance, and you're still paying it. So yeah. So
what I found though with that is every year at the end of the year, the escrow is always short. So when I pay it, I put $50 towards the principal and $50 towards the escrow. And I especially do that for my moms, because it fluctuates so much. I think this year mine was $1,200 short. I'm like, but the taxes in this area went up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cover it between the homeowners and everything. Yeah, it doesn't adjust that shit. Exactly. So it's like, pay the $1,200 to keep your mortgage at the same price, or it's going to go up another $200 a month.
Right. Yeah.
So I paid it, and it still went up $80. Yeah. So.
All right. And also clean up errors in collections. Dispute obvious errors, accounts that aren't yours, wrong limits, and wrong late dates. For collections, focus on verifying the debt is legit. Because I had that where I was an ongoing battle with the insurance company, where I had canceled told them, I wanted to cancel because I was going with the cheaper insurance, but they still wanted to charge me, and then they still wanted to come after me about it. And I went in and I disputed it. But then when I realized, when I was getting ready, in the process of buying a house, that dispute hurt towards me getting approved. So I had to remove the dispute. But what happened was, the loan officer I was going through, he took it to a credit something, whatever, credit, I forgot what you call those folks, but.
Like a credit repair?
Yeah, credit repair. Told him, hey, we want to remove this dispute until she's able, and he said, well, you still will have to pay it as settlement. He said, maybe you can come to a settlement agreement, whatever. I was like, okay, fine. But what happened is that they ended up wiping it out altogether.
That's awesome.
So sometimes that will happen where, it's an ongoing dispute and there's no resolve. And sometimes once, these folks' credit repair goes in, they'll just end up just removing the debt altogether. Also, another point is that a lot of these people will sell your collection to a collection debtor. You have no association with that collection debtor at all. And I have done this in the past where I've said, I don't owe you. I never show me where I have signed that I owe you this debt.
Mm-hmm.
And I
do know that.
Yeah. So make sure you do that, because, if you agree to it, then immediately you owe them. So be mindful of that. Negotiate payment plans and stick to it. Ask in writing if they'll do pay for delete. Not at will, but it's, worth asking. So once you pay it, they'll delete that off of your credit, or, wipe it off. Always get an agreement in writing before paying. Paying a collection doesn't always remove it right away, but it may update to paid, which is still better than unpaid. Medical bill collections sometimes have different rules. In some places, they may be removed after certain conditions are met. Very old negative items usually fall off after 7 years. Paying an ancient debt incorrectly can sometimes re-age, and if the reporting isn't done properly. Caution. So make sure you get some clarity on some of that stuff. All right. It's a lot of stuff to unpack here, but
It is. It is. We
But that
might have
was
to
real
revisit
informational
this.
considering how
It,
complicated credit is. You gave a lot of, good information in terms of utilization, how to lower it, where to go to get it, to get an accurate reporting and the steps you need to take, as well as different options, alternative means of applying for credit. So, I mean, I found out a lot of information for sure.
be,
yeah, I
be
did too.
mindful. Also, we need to be mindful when people get married. This goes for men and women. You're
Yes.
going to assume that bad debt. If they have bad credit, it's going to bring your score down. So
Yes.
you have to be mindful. And I think that's one of the questions you see a lot of people asking now, especially in the dating world. You never worried about credit in the
Mhm.
past. You didn't look at that. But now that is, how is your credit? How are you with money? Are
Yes.
you a spender or are you a saver? You
Right.
know, do you pay your bills on time, or do you always pay late, or you know what I'm saying? Or do you just pay the minimum?
Yeah.
So
And
it's a
what?
lot. It's
Yeah, and one thing, like when I went through my divorce, I had no choice but to file bankruptcy because I had to sever the
yourself
ties
from
I
that.
had of
Mhm.
the bad debt, the bad credit, even a lot of people that I didn't know during, like, there was an IRS bill that a lot of people don't realize. Even though my ex-husband and I filed married but separate, he owed the IRS. And they were still trying to come after me, even though we filed married but separate. They don't,
Hmm.
if you're married, you're considered one to the IRS. They will still come after you. So when
Wow.
I went to file bankruptcy, because that bill was 5 years old, I was able to sever from that bankruptcy. So if an IRS bill is older than 5 years, you can totally wipe it with a bankruptcy.
Oh,
And I
that's
learned that
See,
interesting.
from a bankruptcy
ladies,
attorney.
you have more to lose in a divorce than he does.
Exactly. So yeah, so I was able to, once I filed bankruptcy, not only was I able to sever all that and back away from all that debt, but I was able to come under from that the IRS lien, which can, I'm telling you, if you own property, they, even if it's after one, like after the husband and not the wife, they will still come after you and you could still lose your house. I'm just saying. So be careful out there, ladies.
Mm.
Be
Whew.
very
Thank
careful.
you, April. This was a very interesting show. I mean, I got a lot of
Yeah.
information. I appreciate that.
No problem. No problem. Oh shit. All right.
We know we Kim
So,
got
so,
that.
so real quick, just some quick tips. Like I said, always set auto pay. Make small mid-cycle payments before the statement date. Don't co-sign for anyone unless you are 100% prepared to treat that debt like your own. Just
Sassy ain't
FYI.
signing for shit.
Yeah, no, right. Only apply for new credit when you truly need it. Check your reports once a year, more often, just so that you can make sure that, hey, listen, I got everything straight. Also, some myths. Checking your own credit hurts my score. No, it does not. Soft pulls, you checking your own credit does not affect your score. Close credit cards. You should close credit cards if you're not using them. Often better to keep credit open with zero balance to help utilization and history. Um, My score will never recover after bankruptcy is also another big mistake. Credit scores can improve surprisingly quickly with consistent good behavior, even after serious negative events. So, those are some quick tips for you. All right.
So
We
Kim
lost
will,
Kim?
yeah, we lost Kim. I
Okay.
just looked at her message, but she has other things, she has that, Kim
Oh,
is
yeah, yeah.
always busy, y'all.
Yes,
Kim is
yeah.
always busy,
She owns
always
she owns
busy,
her own restaurant.
always on the grind, on the grind.
Yeah, so but she owns her own restaurant, her own catering business, so she has a big catering event coming up.
Yes.
So
Yes.
but let's get into our closing thought, my final thought. I am at a point in my life where I'm stuck between I need to pay bills and you only live once. I
FOMO is real when it comes to
yes,
paying
yes,
bills. It's real.
trust me.
But you know what? I remember my high school sweetheart's uncle always said, "You pay your bills first, you can party later.
Yeah,
Pay your bills first, and you can party later. You'll find you'll have more money to party with once all your bills are paid."
that's true. Very, very true. Very, very true.
Very true.
Oh
Very true.
man, I went into a final thought. I forgot to give the. Okay, sorry, y'all.
The poll.
The poll question. All right. So last week, how do you feel about Black progress in the last 100 years? Is there progress or is there a gap? So we have 52% feel that there has been some progress.
Okay.
So nearly half. All right. Also, so for this week's poll, we have on scale of 1 through 5, how well do you understand how credit works? And trust me, there are a lot of people out there who do not have a clear understanding. So
No.
we here to help.
and I think in our communities, especially our parents, didn't really explain money to us the way
Exactly.
white families explain money to them.
Right.
And so
Exactly.
now we are in charge and we explain how money works to our children,
Right.
which I
Right.
think is a blessing.
Yeah.
But it is. My parents didn't talk to us about anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And we had to
I
learn
didn't
on our
either.
own.
Yeah.
We had to learn how to budget and all that other stuff.
Mhm.
No.
Yep. No. I'm in the same boat. That's why I drill that into my own daughters, because I want them to understand credit. I want them to understand money, and I don't want them to, always be like, oh, I need a cosigner. No, you should be able to sustain your own credit and your own money. So,
Okay.
all right, y'all. This is Women's Talk Live with your girl April J.
I'm SassyScribe.
Ever
And
KL.
KL.
See y'all.
Women talk live.